How you all doing out there in video land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, this is a special request. I was asked to do a video today on the disassembly and reassembly of the 5 Max, the Demko 5 Max from Cold Steel. So that's what we're going to do today. And I thought also I would show you how I carry it every day. Mine goes to work with me every day. This is my weapons bag. It stays in my car. I don't carry inside to work. It stays in my car. But I don't ever go in. I always like to, I'm not into being, unarmed. See, the pocket over here is unzipped. Shouldn't be. But here's how I carry it every day. It goes inside of my weapons bag. And this is my knife that goes in my weapons bag. It's my 5 Max. And I also use this for for camp goods. Like if I go fishing or something, I'll take this with me, or one of my other knives, and use it for splitting wood or doing heavy duty cutting things if I have to do anything heavy duty. So this knife gets used, people. This is not a collector. This is the only one I have, and it's been being used ever since I bought it. When I first received it, I did a video of it. We did a fireside video. My fireplace, we made a fire. And that's how I carry that. What else is in here? So just a couple other little goodies. Let me see. In this pocket over here. This, by the way, is a Maxpedition pouch. It's a shoulder pouch. I forgot to mention that. I carry my mace, or pepper spray, whatever you want to call it. This pouch over here has my multi-tool. That's a Leatherman multi-tool. I don't know which model it is. I'm not all up on that. I just know it works. I have several Leathermans, but I'm not one of those people that's into all the different technical model stuff and everything else like that. I keep first aid pouch right in here. Face shield, so you have to get somebody CPR. Sharpening stone. What else I got in here? Lucky gave me this. This is the sharpening stone that Lucky gave me. Lucky Bastard. He rocks. What else I got in here? Oh, it's a strap, a different strap. Don't need to pull that out. But this is the bag that goes to work with me every day, people. Everybody's saying, well, where's the weapon? Well, the knife's a weapon. That's a self-defense tool. But what else I also carry? Just a little Taurus 38 special. Don't want to over penetrate. In this pouch that was open, I need to check it because it shouldn't have been open. That's how I carry my ammo, my spare ammo. I'm fixing to drop it all over the place. That's my pouch, people. And it's kind of sad that I feel like I need to carry this every day with me to work, But there's lots of different crazy places in California now with all sorts of weird looking crazy people all over the place, and you're always hearing about robberies and muggings and rapings and all sorts of stuff. So I don't want to sound paranoid, but I just like to, always hope for the best, but always be prepared for the worst, people. I'm a total self-defense person. I believe everybody has the right to defend themselves. And, I know the laws don't always work that way sometimes, but I believe every human being has the right to defend themselves against an aggressor. Somebody's trying to rob you, murder you, hurt you, steal from you, whatever. Trying to do you harm, or your loved ones, or your family members. I believe that you have the right to protect everybody that you love. And that's just the way I feel, people. I'm a total Second Amendment person and a right to bear arms person. I know I don't live in the best state for it, but that's me. You know, that's the way I was brought up. I was brought up by soldiers to be a soldier. And so, you know, that's the way I think. So I don't want anybody thinking that I'm paranoid by carrying all this stuff in my trunk or my car every day. But, you know, I see crazy stuff every day. And I don't know. Certain parts of California are really beautiful. They're really, I'm telling you like it is. Certain parts of California are super beautiful, are super luxurious, and the kind of places that you wish that you can live and everything else like that. But then there's the other half of California that's not like that. It's where, you know, because we have like 40 million people in this state, people. It's a state full of people. And, you know, the majority of those people are working class people, and then another percentage is another group that you know, tries to, you know, I don't know, you know, there's wolves, there's sheep, and there's sheeple. Wolves are the predators. There's lots of wolves. There's lots of wolves. I like to think of myself as like a sheepdog. You know, a person that would look out for, you know, a good person, or, you know, I'm not trying to protect or, you know, help out criminals or bad people, but, you know, I want to represent the good people. That's just the way I sort of feel, people. I'm just letting you know where I stand on things and stuff like that. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. And this is my other bag that comes with me. This one does go into work. And this is my other Maxpedition bag. And this one, this one has like some personal things in it, so I'm not gonna show you everything in it, but it doesn't have any firearms in it. But I do keep that's my prescription aspirin, or ibuprofen. My flashlight. Another thing of pepper spray. Oh yeah, my Demko MagnaCut Free Reign. USA Free Reign. Down here in the bottom, got another Leatherman tool. Like my Leathermans, people. What else I got down here in the bottom? Binoculars. Binoculars. Okay. And I got one more knife in here. My 4 Max. 4 Maxes and 5 Maxes, and my free reign goes to work with me every day. All right. Now that's how I roll, people. That's how I roll. This pouch, I usually keep my cell phone and things like that in here. I do have my pad in here. This bag. See, now this is real. You see, I'm just showing you. I just came from work. That's gotta have my go-go juice. Gotta have my go-go juice. And that's like I had lunch in there, but it's already gone. My Maxpedition bag, people. I did a video on these things a few years back. I never did a follow-up video, so now you guys can see how these things have been holding up. They've been holding up excellent. I highly recommend Maxpedition. I've had other bags that I've used and they fell apart in this length of time. These are still in perfect condition. Maxpedition rocks, people. Highly recommend their bags. All right, let's get busy. Let's get busy. I know this turned into a long video because we had a lot of discussion there. Let's go ahead and take this one apart. I think that's a 10 millimeter that I just used. Let me check it to make sure. Yeah, I can't see it. I need the flashlight. It's good that I have the bag out here now. Got my flashlight. $10mm. So it's a 10mm, people. All right. And the other one, I can't remember if it's a 6 or 8. Let's try a 6 first. It's a 6. Now, I don't know why they don't use gold steel. That's one of the things that I wish cold steel would sort of do, is switch from using 6 T6 screws for the body screws. They do that. They've always used T6 screws pretty much on every knife that I've ever owned that was a cold steel knife. There might be a couple of them that might be slightly different, but they should go to T8s. T8s and T10s would be perfect. This one's been apart before, so people, so it shouldn't be super hard to take apart. And when I screw things together, I don't torque them down tight. I don't use Loctite, so the screws never get all messed up. I've found by using Loctite, sometimes you can, when you have to take things apart back and forth lots of different times, sometimes that can sort of like gum up the threads and stuff, but you gotta always keep cleaning the threads out. Loctite's better for like when things you put together and you don't plan on taking them apart. Not for a long time anyway. And always on knives, I would always recommend using blue Loctite. You don't want to use red. Unless it's a part that you plan on never taking apart. Because red is like super glue. Basically, that's what Loctite is glue. Liner and everything came out with this one. Now, let's see something. People are always asking me if these are titanium or aluminum. Well, they're definitely not stainless steel. This is a magnet, people. Doesn't want to come off of that. So I don't know if it's titanium or aluminum. I'm going to guess and say it's titanium. And the reason why I say that is because this is a very expensive knife. And cold steel, used to always use titanium on knives back in the day, back on the original models, before titanium became like super expensive. Okay, I'm taking it apart. Got your Teflon washer, bronze phosphorus washer, Teflon washer, phosphorus bronze washer. It's your lock bar. Look how heavy duty all these parts are, people. This is a very heavy duty knife. Look at this. Let's see how much it weighs. It has weight to it. .2 ounces just for the lock bar. 1.2 ounces. I think this is the thickest and most heavy-duty lock bar I've ever seen cold steel make. That's the reason why it's my survival folder in my weapons bag, people. I saw how this one was made, and this I saw. If this wasn't so expensive, I would get another one, just to have two of them at least. But when they get like this expensive, I only get one. I might end up getting, down the road if I get a great deal on a new one or something like that. I got a great deal on this one. I got this came straight from Cold Steel. The Cold Steel website. They sent me a text and gave me a deal on it. And then I used my military discount on top of that discount. And the knife was like $200 and something, and they gave me a free drop point or barong Voyager also. So I got two knives, and they gave me something else too. Oh, the mat. They gave me my Cold Steel mat, and for like $200 and something bucks. And these knives at that time were like $399. So that's how I got this one. Because I wasn't going to spend $399 for it, people. And like, the new Recon 1 XL, that one's with CTS XHP, just like they used to make the old ones with DLC coating, yes. So they made it proper. But they're asking $299 for it. And like so far, Blade HQs has them for like $270 something, $275 or $76 or something like that. And I'm gonna wait. And see if Cold Steel gives me a deal again. Sends me another text. I hope they do. Hear that, Cold Steel? I'll make a video for you. I would absolutely love to get one. But they're very expensive. This side right here, I never really take apart because you don't need to take these all the way apart to pull maintenance on them, people. You just need to break it down to this level. And right here, you can take out the spring. And you always want to check the spring. Oh, see, this one's got a little bit of burrs on it. So I'm going to sand that down. I never noticed that before. I probably didn't check that before like I should have. Grab a little piece of sandpaper. It doesn't take too much, just it's part of the tune and lube, or lube and tune. It's taking care of, there it goes, the burr's gone now. Let me do the inside too. This will make it operate even smoother. It already operated smooth. Oh yeah, see now it's all the way gone. That's how you get rid of your burrs. Just a little bit of sandpaper. I just grabbed anything that was available. This was 800 grit, but you could use something like it doesn't really matter because you're just taking off the burrs. You don't really care. You don't want to use like something that's like super. Well, there's a little bit of burrs on this side too. Hold on. That's the side that goes into, that doesn't matter. That's the side that doesn't matter. The side that goes into the backspacer. You're only concerned about the part that rides up on the lock bar itself, because that'll give it a little grittiness feeling. All right, people, let's go ahead and put this one back together. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up real quick. All right. And just for shits and giggles, let's measure the pins. I'll let you guys know what size the pins are. Oh yeah, I still need to get batteries for my gauge. Okay, we're zeroed out. Let's see what we got here. .98, 6 millimeters. 5.97, close to 6. 5.97. I think that's the exact same size that they're using for the towel war. So that's the same size stop pin as the towel war, front stop pin. You guys can go check my videos on my new towel war and see if it was 5.97. I bet you it was. 4.46. That sounds familiar too. 4.46. The internal stop pin, this one right here is your internal one, is 2.95, almost 3 millimeters thick. Blade stock. Let's do it the blade tang. That's where it's going to be the thickest point. That'd be the true point with what they started with to make the blade. 4.77 millimeters thick. Seems like it should be thicker than that. Let me see. Let me re-zero just to make sure. Nope, 4.77. 4.77 millimeters thick. Almost 5 millimeters thick, people. The G10 slabs, let's see how thick those are. .94, no way. Oh, maybe it's because it's got some girth in the middle. That's what it is. Because like out here, it looks like it's pretty thin. Yeah, out here it's 2.86. But when you do the the part where you actually grip. This would be your grip right here. So we're going to measure right in here. Right in there is 3.89. So it's pretty thick for the grip. Each side like that. All right, people, let's go ahead and put it back together. Anything else? Oh, let's do the lock bar. Let's do the lock bar. See how thick the lock bar is. .5.4 millimeters thick. All right, now we can put it together. Anything else we want to check? The back spacer, I bet you that's titanium or something too. Because it's definitely metal. It's a metal back spacer. Yeah, that's metal. It feels cold to the touch. So it's either titanium or aluminum, people. The same thing goes for these liners. They're either titanium or aluminum. I can't tell you exactly what they are, but I know they're not magnetic. That I can tell you. This is magnetic. The lock bars, that's magnetic. Magnetic, your spring, your torsion spring. Your pivot's magnetic. All your hardware, it's all magnetic. But this, now the part that's magnetic is the part that you screw into. So I really like the way that they made this because I like it. They have the steel inserts in the titanium or aluminum backspacer that you screw into. So that's going to be hard to strip that out. It's a very well made knife, people. Very, 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 very well made. That's all I got to say. Absolutely love it. And you know what? Even though I know it's a very well made knife, it's probably got very tight tolerances, I'm still gonna do the pins with my little trick with the rubber cement. But I don't fidget with this knife though, so it doesn't really matter. The knives that you have to do it, you really need to do this on, are the ones that you're gonna fidget with, people. You do your groove side. There's a groove side, and then there's a plain side. The plain side is what goes in. The groove side is for the other side when you put it together. That's the way pretty much all cold steels are. Then after you do this, you need to let your knife sit. I like to let them sit for at least 2 days. This knife will sit inside the weapons bag. So they have plenty of time to harden up. All right, people. I just do it on the one side usually. If you got a knife that's rattling really bad, I would do it on both sides. Like an older knife or something that you've used a lot and it's developed a really good rattle. But that's what rattles people is your pins. And the ones that get the most abuse are your stop pins, your external pin and your internal pin. And lots of times the holes that they fit into will deform a little bit from all the opening and closing and fidgeting. But in the case of the new Tau Wars, they came like that. And so the fitment from the factory wasn't perfect for the pin size to the hole size in the G10. But it was just slightly. It just had a very slight, like minute gap. Maybe less than the size of a hair or something. I mean, that's really minute. And so all you had to do is just give it a little coating of the rubber cement, and it cured the problem. Okay, usually the flats go to the front. I'm looking for the flat. There it is, right there. Yep, the flat goes to the front. That's pretty much the general rule for all cold steel knives. I like to put a little bit of lube on my fingers and put it around the pivot. So you have lube on the pivot from the get-go. Same thing goes for the pin that should, like your pivot pin for your lock bar too. Now clean up my hands. Next goes on your phosphorus bronze washers. Put a little bit of lube on them, just like a little thin coat. I use lithium base gun grease. And after that goes your Teflon washer. Same thing, use the same lube on it, just a little light coat. Nothing that'll be making a mess or anything like that. Now I like to use a little drop of oil. This lithium base gun oil, the gun grease and gun oil, both Militech 1. That's what I've been using for years, people, on all of my knives. All right. I know there's lots of different kind of lubes and things like that. I've just been using this like since the 90s. Since about like 1995 or somewhere around that. Well, my buddies that was a knife person, knife maker, turned me on to it. Daniel Chua. All right. Well, I'd like to put a light coat of grease on the lock bar also. I'm just one of those people that believes that anything that touches metal to metal should always be lubed. All right. Go and put on your lock bar. After that, put a drop of oil on your blade. Now we're done with the oil. A little bit of grease on my fingers. Teflon washer goes on first this time. Teflon washer goes against the blade. Teflon washers always go against the blade, people. Your phosphorus bronze washer goes against the handle scales in the Teflon washer. Classic Demko setup. That's a Demko setup, people. Andrew Demko's always talked about how he thinks that's the smoothest setup. That's the reason why he does it like that. All right. Just gonna wipe this off too. Everything fit together nice and perfect. So everything's fitting together nice and perfect. This is a beautifully made knife, people. It's definitely a $300 knife. You know, $300, $400 knife. You know, compared to other. You know, this is like a cold steel triad folder taken to the next level. It's not like your standard factory made cold steel triad folder. It's different. It's better. It's better. But it's not the one I want to carry though, because it's heavy. It's heavy, but you know, it's a tank. It's it's one of those kind of knives that it's an apocalypse folder. This is the kind of folder I'd want in apocalypse. End of days. Zombie apocalypse. All your T6s back in. And I just go down finger tight. Right there's finger tight. Finger tight. Finger tight. I love my Weehaw tools. My Weehaw tools, these are like fit perfectly on the screws so you don't strip out the heads of your screws. And they use really good steel. So I highly recommend Weehaw tools, people, because cheap tools will mess up your screws. All the way down, then back it off about a quarter of a turn. See what we got. No side to side, no up and down. Feels like a fixed blade. A little bit off center. That's an adjustment. Okay. Let me adjust it. Needs to be a little bit tighter. Right there. Boom. Perfect. Perfect, people. Absolutely love it. That's how I lube and tune. That's a lube and tune. Total lube and tune, including doing the pins with rubber cement. And this is one of the best knives that Cold Steel makes. I highly recommend it. I'm talking about for tryout folders. This is probably the best tryout folder that Cold Steel makes. But it's a heavy one, people. Let's see how much it weighs. It's a beautiful knife, though. The 5 Max is a beautiful knife. The 5 Max is the one that they always should have made from the get-go. I like it way better than the 4 Max. They need to make a 5 Max Scout. If they make a 5 Max Scout, I'll buy 2 or 3. 13.6 ounces. 13.6 ounces, people. So it's not a lightweight. It's not a lightweight. Always put your tools away when you get done with them. That's how they last. I got these tools on Amazon. Got them the same day I ordered them. And I've had them for a while now, and I just can't be happier. 5 Max Scout. 5 Max Scout. No, that's the one I want them to make. This is the real 5 Max. The Demko 5 Max. Absolutely love it, people. Highly recommend this knife. I highly recommend it. For those of you who want a super heavy duty, I would call it a survival folder. I call the 4 Maxes and the 5 Maxes and the SR1s survival folders. And you know, the other two that can fall in that category, in my opinion, also are the 8010 and the Bush Ranger. I think both of those are awesome knives too, heavy-duty folders. But the king of the heavy-duty folders is this one, the 5 Max from Cold Steel. It might be the king of heavy-duty folders. I don't know. You know, I'm sure there's some custom knife makers that make big heavy-duty things, but I don't see too many production things that are more heavy-duty and more sturdy and the real deal than this one. I think this one takes the cake. And that's why it rolls with me every day. Speaking of that, it's time for it to get back on duty. All right. So now we can end this video the way that we started it. 5 Max. Absolutely love it. I hope that video helps you out. Peace out. Stiletto. Everybody have a great day. Peace.